gives it to Corey Kiner, charges straight up the middle, and runs into the end zone, standing up, giving him 100 yards and giving the Bearcats a 16-7 lead. Newman has the ball, takes a pass toward the corner, does it again, passes to Bandego. Aziz outside the arc. Now Lukosius curls off a screen, shoots a three, makes it. He made it. 3 seconds to go. The Bearcats up by 1. San Francisco launches from center court. No good. Simas Lukosius.
His 5th plate appearance tonight. He swings and hits it high and deep to left field. Goodbye, home run. Carrington Cross. A 3-run shot. And it's now 7-3 Cincinnati.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GoBeercats podcast, part of the Catskeller Social Club and the Bearcats, representative for the College Huddle community. I'm Brandon. He's Darin. Coming off of another win. Winning feels good, Darin. How we feeling here as we stare down Lubbock in the short future?
Feeling good. We are in a good spot. We're one off for where I want us to be going into this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want that back. Hopefully it doesn't haunt us this year. But looking just back last weekend, it was nice to dominate a team. It's been a whole season since we've had that. So yeah.
Yes, it has. But man, it did feel good just to go out there and blank someone for the first time. I don't know the last time we shut out someone, but that always feels good.
I think it was the 90s, apparently. That's what I heard.
What is it?
I heard it was the 90s.
Not really. Dang. Well, hell, I'll take it. That's 30 some odd years. Nice. I'm drinking a Bodie, Darin. If it's time for a beer, which it is, it's been a day, been 2 days. That was one of my favorite double IPAs of all time. This used to be like stand in line for hours to get it, and now you can just get a tall boy at Rapid Run Carryout. It's wild. So 8.3% double IPA, big beer after a big win, and hey, it's in a Cincy light glass, so that makes sense.
I'm glad the scarcity goggles, didn't have to hold up for you to still enjoy that. I continue my my mule running of friends bringing me drinks down here, even though I've been back to Cincinnati a few times. But I had a friend stop through 2 weekends ago and bring me something from Noble Funk because they stopped in Louisville.
Interesting.
He's like, "Oh, what do you want? I'll bring you down some stuff." I looked at the menu and I saw they had a blueberry blonde ale. And so I have to close my face. There it is. It's pretty solid. The only downside, it's apparently, I didn't notice this at the time, but it's collabed with Lou City, their soccer team. So,
okay.
Hate to give some money to them, but they make a solid beer.
Well, we'll do what we can here. We talked a little bit about the Houston game in Last Call Cats. If you're looking for Last Call Cats, like you didn't get to participate, but you're a person who listens to it, which a decent amount of people do, come back and listen to that, Darin. I just got that up on Spotify and Apple. This is Tuesday. On Tuesday, it for some reason X or Twitter has made downloading Spaces incredibly hard, and then we use Spotify for podcasters to get the message, the good word out there to everyone. And it was just being a pain in the ass on Sunday morning when I usually post it, but it's up there now. If you get the notification and follow us on Spotify or Apple, it's up there. I didn't want Hunter, who's our first person who's actually chimed in. I didn't want him to think oh man, they didn't even post this one because I was on there. Just technical difficulties were being stubborn. So we talked a little bit about the Houston game. What are some takeaways that we think from the Bearcats' big win? Again, you and I did not have high opinions of Houston last week when we talked, and I think we might have even then still oversold them.
Yeah, we ended up blanking them as you saw, 0 points. We were the first team to shut out a P5 or P4 team this year, and they're the first team to be shut out this year. Did you figure out who? I forgot off the top of my head whose score was whose.
You will take the lead 3-1 as you picked the 30-10 score, and I went 30-13. So you got the closer to the Houston score there. So that's all you with a now 2-point lead here in this ongoing series.
Golf rules, lower number wins in this case. So all right, well, cruising nice 3-1, 3-1. I'll take it.
With a 3-point lead, that kind of goes with Sorsby's 3 incomplete passes for the day. I think that's what he finished with. Just a clinic of not like numbers that'll just make your eyes pop out of your head, but just really solid quarterback play. Again, certainly been a bright spot so far through the first 4 games, and I think gaining confidence. Mm-hmm. And certainly gaining the confidence of the fan base. I think we're really close to seeing a game where he does light it up and maybe catches someone off guard here soon, where it's like, pushing 400 yards or something and 4 touchdowns, and the defense is just astonished with what they've let happen. I think we're really close to that with him right now.
Yeah, I'd say so. The offense looks like it's established at this point. Maybe established is too strong of a word, but it's arrived. It can always get better. There's always room for improvement, no matter what. But it's definitely got its foundation there, and we're in a good place. We're arriving at being a Big 12 offensive team. We still haven't crested 40 yet, I believe. So, there's that. But I'm with you saying that he's due for just a breakout game.
Mm-hmm. I think it's coming. I'd love for him to push that off another couple weeks until we play Central Florida and just light them up for like 48 points or something. But we'll take it when we get it here. We really only have. We have a bye after Tech, so that might be the prime time span for that to happen here. We saw another solid performance from Kiner, 78 yards. That's the first game he's failed to break the century mark. I think they kind of left him in there a little longer to try to get up over that 100 mark. Didn't quite get there, though. Yeah, Houston. I thought Houston really keyed in on him at the beginning of the game. Where it was very noticeable their game plan was to not to let Kiner just destroy them, and it was as successful as it could be, but he still put up 80 yards and looked pretty good doing it. But unfortunately, the first time he missed the 100 mark so far this season. Yeah, the secret's out on him. People are aware. You don't go 3 games and go 100 and not get noticed and put on some people's radars at that point. Going into game 4, you're going to have some tape, Mm-hmm. And so I think, he's a big part of what our offense does, at least keeping it balanced. And him being on a hot streak, I would not, I'd be silly not to think that your opponent's going to try to, start with a hot hand there. Especially with, Sorsby, he's kind of still more warming up, it feels like. He got a little cold at the end of the Pitt game. Miami was okay. He did what he needed to do, but, wasn't amazing. So, yeah, I think it was smart for him to try to key in on Kiner. But then, we asked Sorsby to carry that game at that point and just, make some safe, consistent passes. And then when he had his shot to take, he took them, and they worked. 3 attempts that didn't go his way. I really say 2, because that that's just that DB just made a good play. That was that good ball was called.
but the DB just made a really good play on that ball. But the other two, just missed and dropped passes. You're bound to get those. And then not just Sorsby, but we talked about Kiner, we talked about Royer. Xavier Henderson goes without doubt, but the ball's starting to get spread around, and you're starting to see that receiving core, coming to their own. Sterling Burkhalter is established himself as a good opposite deep ball threat, or at least backup. At that point, he's the second leading wide receiver on the team. And then Mays and Turner are kind of vying for that slot rotation. And so we got options here. And that feels pretty good after not being able to even score really in the red zone last year. So
I think they said on the broadcast, I think the first six, it was six. The first six passes Sorsby threw were all to six different receivers.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like although I don't know if we don't have necessarily the super flashy guys like we did when we had Tyler Scott, Alec Pierce, guys that are just freak athlete type of football players. I don't know if we don't have those type of guys, but outside of that, we are still deep. We are still deep. Who guys can go out, make a catch, make a play. They might not run 24 mile an hour down the field, but they can still go out and get the ball, or at least get open when you see Sorsby scrambling. We talked about him earlier. His ability to extend the pocket and get the football out, which is really good, and it continued to be. And those guys never stop moving and can definitely help make Sorsby look good by getting open.
So he's going to keep his eyes downfield, and not even to a detriment. I mean, he knows when he's going to take a shot. I saw people arguing about is Sorsby the best passer we've had. I'm not willing to start comparing yet. He's certainly been solid. I mean, if you want to start making comparisons, someone said Ritter was the best. I'm like, Ritter just didn't have the arm out. But what he does have that Ritter also had was being able to kind of sell his body out to open things up. I think Sorsby is really good at that. Like I said, his eyes are downfield. He's good at sucking the DB or linebacker who's kind of hanging in that middle down on top of him to open something up behind him.
And he'll take a hit. He'll stand in the pocket and take a hit.
And he'll hit you back. That's the other thing too. I mean, if he's he's not going to. I don't think he's going to win that matchup every single time against like a linebacker, but we've seen him run over a few DBs in short yard situations when the end zone's on their side. And he is tough, and it's not like he's even reckless with it. He's just doing what he needs to do for the team, and that is greatly appreciated.
I thought I was going to have to mute and sneeze. So awkward pause there. Nathan Hawks continues to be a bright spot. We were talking about him on Last Call Cats. Nathan and I Hunter. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Nathan Hawks and trying to say Hunter, who jumped on with us. Him and I did sort of a deeper dive on that and the story that he has. Continues to be a bright spot for the team. There was another guy that I was going to bring up that oh no, it wasn't a guy. Let's think about this for a second. And this little nugget. That was our first Big 12 home win game.
Yeah.
And that was, Houston was our first Big 12 win overall last season, of course, in Houston. But a lot of firsts coming down the football program thanks to the Houston Cougars. A little interesting nugget there. I kind of had forgotten about that.
Yeah, no, they are providing a lot of firsts for us. It's nice to have a record-setting day of some kind. Against that, it's definitely a confidence builder for the team as a whole when stuff like that starts to happen. When we're getting those games when we need them. Hoping this translates down the stretch we're about to have. I will say also, just the defense as a whole. Those boys like to hit. I talked a little about this in last call. They were flying around.
Man, you know who didn't watch the Bearcats defensive film? The Bengals. They did not watch. They could have maybe taken some notes from the Houston game because this isn't a Bengals podcast, but holy hell, they have the entire city with acid reflux and just like in despair. And that defense was bad against Washington. Holy hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were laying the wood. Great cracks, just run into the ball with force and determination. We talked about it being the Black Cats defense, like just like defense, just Cincinnati in general, Bearcat or basketball, football, it doesn't matter. We just like to see some hard-nosed defense played around here, and if we can get more of that throughout the season, what we saw against Houston, I know I'll be one happy Bearcats fan for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just looking like people who are recording stats. I mean, we're seeing a full rotation of guys out there. Now we've reached game 4. A few of these guys will be redshirted at this point. There are some freshmen who will continue to get playing time, especially along the line, and not so much in the defensive backfield. A lot of sophomores and juniors in the DB's rooms, but yeah, I mean these the unit seems like they're starting to get it. Obviously, it's going to be a continuous work in progress. It's not perfect, but the game like this is huge that you hope that it instills some kind of permanent confidence in these guys. And if they ever need to rally, they can rally, and just continue to build.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big time win, 34-0 over Houston. I don't know if there's a team that's been. Just Texas Tech is so hard to get a handle on. As we kind of look forward to them on this Saturday, 8:00 on ESPN2. Definitely, we've been relegated up. In time slots, 8:00. I don't know if that's because we're going to West Texas or just because there's 2 3-1 teams playing each other in the Big 12. That's nice to say. Texas Tech. So they went to an overtime game against Abilene Christian week 1. Pulled that one out. Lost to Washington State. Dominated. They put up like 50 points in the first half against North Texas, and then they went to sleep the rest of the game, and then they beat a hot Arizona State team this past weekend. So they sit at 3-1. I don't know what to make of them yet. Maybe they were just kind of the first 2 weeks, it just seemed like they didn't really have it figured out. After 4 weeks now, are they finally the team that's kind of, people kind of gave them some props at the beginning, preseason media and all that kind of stuff?
Their identity hasn't changed. Offensive minded, they can be scored on. I'd say Arizona State and that Washington State game are where we want to look to take your cues from, especially that Washington State game where they only held them to 16 points. I mean, they I mean, that one, they also had a backup in for that one, if I'm not mistaken, actually. Oh, no, Morton still played. My bad. I had it wrong. Morton's he puts up numbers. I mean, he had the problem with that one was he threw 2 interceptions that game. So, despite putting up huge numbers, they're going to attempt to throw the ball, like without a doubt. Like his attempt numbers are insane.
He has over 160 passes already this season.
Yep.
Almost 1,200 yards. And I think that's, I mean, you're talking about offensive minded. Their identity hasn't changed. I mean, they had high expectations for him coming into the season, and I think they're certainly trying to let him meet or exceed those expectations by slinging the ball around.
Yeah, I mean, our defensive backs are going to have to be ready. Specifically those post and crossing routes, those deep posts for sure. Big plays are not it's not a weakness that's been defeated yet. It's being worked on actively, and even that one big play that Houston had down the middle, they acknowledged, it was acknowledged that the safety could have kind of dropped back further on the coverage and read that a little bit better. But that's the benefit of having a game like we did against Houston. Hopefully, the confidence is there, the knowledge and wisdom is starting to get baked into these guys, and people are able to do their job. It's going to be on the defensive backfield to hold their own because they are going to test them.
They are going to test them. Morton's pass attempts in the first 4 games, 42, 58.
Yep.
Only 19 against Northern Texas again with 66 points. I guess, I mean, he was 15 for 19 with 4 touchdowns. So out of the 19 times he threw the pass, 4 of them were for touchdowns. I guess you don't need to throw it that much. But it's 42, 58, 19, and 44 this past weekend. Holy hell. 12 touchdowns already on the year. He's only gets sacked about once a game, and 12 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. So yeah, I think they're going to certainly try to test that secondary of ours come Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, what you're going to check for is penalties. They don't seem like a very disciplined team on that front.
Okay.
I mean, they're averaging around 7 to 9 a game, so hopefully you can do something with that. Obviously, I'm not supposed to say bait them, but if you can stay disciplined and capitalize on some mistakes from them, there's going to be where you find some wiggle room. The running back isn't bad either. I think it's just going to depend on what you want to take away from them.
Okay.
It's going to be a challenge. I mean, we are not favored in this game. Tech is favored by they open up at 3, but the actual match predictor gives them a 57% chance to win.
Yep.
So it's not completely in our favor. Taj Brooks kind of matches Corey Kiner physically. I know Corey's kind of cut some weight down, so he's about 20 pounds lighter than him. But Brooks will run you over and try to. He, doesn't necessarily, at least so far this season, hasn't really broke one off too long. So he's definitely playing a bit more power ball this year. It's like I said, it's going to be, he can still hurt us if given the chance.
Yeah.
It just hasn't had that game yet. Just gotta figure out what we want to shut down. I think trying to shut down the passing is just going to be the way to go. And maybe keep the ball away from them. Long methodical drives. We seem like we've been good at that the past 2 games. So if you can keep their offense cold, wear their defense down, maybe we can escape out there if we win. We're kind of reaching the point in our schedule where we need to. We're going to have to steal one from somebody. You hope it's against UCF and Arizona State and Texas Tech, and we're coming out of this in bowl eligibility, but you don't know where it's going to come from. This is going to tell us where our team really is at this point. And I can see why they're favored. So you will just hope it all comes together. First true road game. We're not traveling anywhere that's just in Ohio. So prime time, essentially, almost. I'd say it's kind of a
Pretty
prime time game. Your
Yep.
ESPN2, that's still big on College Football Saturday. If you're on FS1, ESPN2, ESPN, any of those, or ABC main, like you're in that
For sure.
That rotation. So, and then I'm pretty sure it's going to be a sold-out crowd. At least according to Sad, I think he said they're heading towards the sellout already. So,
Okay.
true hostile environment. If our team can come out with a win, I think it's going to go a long way this season, and it'll pay dividends. Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge. Source's going back home. Hopefully that some of that Texas brisket empowers them.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your score prediction here?
Their defensive numbers really don't scare me as much as they probably should. I mean, the fact you let Abilene Christian still hang 54. Obviously, that was the opening of the season. Things are a little sloppy. I think North Texas, the games kind of got away with them. But everybody else has kind of managed to keep them within reach. It's going to come down to who can get a few stops, basically. And their defense doesn't seem particularly stingy. Sorsby, knock on wood, hasn't been forced into a super dangerous pass yet. Man, that is tough. Actually, 8 interceptions all year. Okay. But how many of those were against North Texas? IDK. Let's go with. It's probably gonna be something like 48-38 still. Bad guys, unfortunately.
48-38. All right. So we've been pretty close in the past couple of weeks in our guesses. We're pretty far apart here. I'm going bad guys as well. You got 48-38, so you would definitely take the over of 58 and a half. That would crush it. I am going 35-27 bad guys.
Okay.
Yes. I think that's about 62. So I'm still taking the over. 35-27. Respectable. I don't think we get blown out. I don't think this is hopefully this isn't like an Iowa State game last year or something like that. But
actually, you know what? Looking at like when they've played actual power conference teams, I mean they're within that. Let's lower it to probably let's say 35, 20, 35-28.
No, you're coming back down way closer.
Yeah.
All right.
I can see us stopping them enough, but their offense just getting hotter with the number of attempts they're going to take the pass on us, and I can see us breaking at some point. Not enough bend but don't break moments.
All right, we got it in. Last call cats this week might be a little weird for me because I'm working my last shift at the bar Saturday night. So I mean, hopefully we're wrong on our predictions, and we're celebrating a win. I don't know. It depends on how many people are there. I might be able to do it. We might have to do, if your game might have to do a very late last call cats.
I'm usually up watching, the after dark games anyway. So
sure, it might be a little bit delayed. Get some more drinks into people, and then we'll talk about it. Excuse me, that was a big gulp of Bodie there.
Yeah, I lost him. He's frozen. Unfortunate. Well, as I was saying, these games we got coming up are just, I mean, this is, it's not going to be where our season's made, but I hope to steal something out of this stretch here. I mean, we got Texas Tech, who's really just going to test that secondary. UCF, which just seems physically built to beat us right now. There's no weaknesses of the inherent weaknesses of a 3 down front. And they're undefeated right now. Katie Jefferson seems like she's kind of finding his mojo. So we'll have to see about that. Arizona State at home. I mean, they still got them currently up against us. And yeah, I mean, yeah, we're not favoring anything in this stretch. It's really going to depend on how this Texas Tech game goes. Just the really establish what this team is. I expect post UCF for us to kind of do like a little mid-game assessment or mid-season assessment and see where this team's at. But Texas Tech is going to, set some precedent for how good this team really is, and that's going to answer some questions for us. I was really hoping to be 4-0. We should be 4-0 right now, but we're not. We kind of let the game get away from us at Pittsburgh. Yeah, I mean, this is the point where we race for 3 more and see if we can get the bowl eligibility. Obviously, for some reason we go to Texas Tech and just decimate. My outlook changes and my confidence might change on what the rest of the season looks like. But this is sort of the point right here to really tell us where we're at. Looks like Brandon's electricity went out. That is unfortunate. Reminder that we are currently in fall ball for baseball. You should go to Buckethead tomorrow at 6, where they're going to have Coach Jordan Bishel there. They posted they made a post to put some questions on that they'll ask at the event tomorrow. Obviously, me living in Nashville, it's going to be hard for me to just travel up there, but I hope people show out. They are looking for people to support this team. I bought season tickets last year. Obviously, I won't be able to use them as much now living in Nashville. But go out, buy some tickets. Baseball tickets are on the cheaper end for a lot of our stuff. Support this team, and hey, maybe we get some upgrades in the ballpark if some things change. Really excited for year 2 for these guys. But since Brandon's power's out, we're going to cut it here. Cheers. Go Beercats.